Good morning and welcome back to another Diablo Immortal video. I have more news, more leaks that have just come out regarding the Diablo Immortal update. Happy Sunday morning for everyone that's watching this right now. Hope you guys had a great weekend so far. We've seen this image before. This is not a new image, but now there is some translation under the image, and I noticed that a few of the things that I was guessing was actually incorrect, and we have some better information even here right now. So let's take a look at this picture before we go into the description below. This is all done in Espanol, in Spanish, versus the Chinese version of things that we saw in the last video. We have the new gem that we spoke of, the golden Firmament. Now remember, this is nothing official. Everything here is leaked information, which who knows, could be true or could not. Typically, these do tend to be true, but we can't confirm that because it hasn't been confirmed yet by Blizzard. Next, we have Nueva Quest. This is a Shattered Sanctuary. So we've heard this before somewhere. I don't recall where the term has been heard, but Shattered Sanctuary does sound like a new zone. We also have Nueva Zona, which is World's Crown. Zona probably translates to zone, which would mean a new zone right here, World's Crown. This right here, I thought this was the Mad King's cosmetic, but actually it's an Ancients level dungeon. So a new dungeon that's coming to the game. Nueva Boss, which is Azmodan, which is probably a new Heliquary boss. And then the most exciting one here is the picture of the familiar. We talked about familiar updates and how they've been consistently bringing out changes to familiars inside of the game. Familiars dispatch. Now, I think about the word dispatch. When I think about truck drivers, it means they're being dispatched. They're being sent out to go deliver something or something like that. Now, familiars currently, they can go salvage your equipment, they can identify your equipment, and they can go and have you change up what sets and gear you're wearing. So those are three versions of dispatch now, but it seems that there's going to potentially be more versions of that, which could be quite cool. Remember, familiars are a quality of life improvement to the game, plus a nice fun element as well. Let's see what the words are. The 5-star gem, yes. Then we have the Shattered Sanctuary, new zone, World's Crown, which is Diablo Dungeon. We'll see. New challenge dungeons, ancient dungeons difficulty, varying challenges and better rewards. So new challenge dungeons, ancient dungeons difficulty. So it seems like there's going to be more difficult dungeons with varying different challenges within them and better rewards for it. That would actually be cool. As it sits right now, dungeons are things that we run through so that we can get greens, get experience, get gem drops, etc. Do it in a party of 4. But potentially, ancient dungeons will be a more difficult version of a dungeon for a more difficult experience. People that are just kind of breezing through that. New boss. Looks like Azmodan. And new familiars activity. This is the one that is really the most exciting to me. Familiars dispatch. You could send familiars to explore and help with your tasks or something like that. So, makes you think, what tasks will a familiar help me do outside of what it already does? It already attacks with me. It already collects stuff, so I don't have to run around and collect things as fine-tuned. And it does the other 3 things that we spoke of at the beginning of the video. So really, I'm not sure what activities it could do. Are they going to have it so that it could do our bounties for us? Are they going to have it so that it could do our daily missions and things like that for us? I don't know, but quality of life stuff like that does seem cool. And actually, we saw someone comment right here, familiar dispatch sounds exciting. And then someone else says, if that's real, it's a good quality of life to save us time because we have so many tasks to do actually. And I'll tell you what, I actually agree with that. We have so many tasks that we need to do on a daily basis inside of the game, and it's something that has become increasingly keeping us away from other activities that we may want to do inside of the game. Like right now we have Survivor's Bane. It's one of my favorite game modes inside of the game. I absolutely love playing Survivor's Bane. It's literally just so much fun. But a lot of times I find myself not being able to interact with those type of activities because I have so many other daily things that I have to do, such as bounties, such as running dungeons, such as running, we'll take a look at a couple of them right now, but there's a lot of different tedious things that you have to do to grind your account that keep you from doing other things. So if the familiars can help in that fashion, that would be an amazing quality of life and a huge part of having familiars besides having Savior or something like that. All right, so I mean, I would love to spend a lot more of my time, you know, doing battlegrounds. Now that I've gotten into battlegrounds, but instead I have to go do, you know, let's go over to the courtyard. And this is where essentially a lot of the things are that we have to do on the daily that take our time up, right? Like I have to run an Elder Rift every single day. I have to run through the gauntlet, as I call it, every single day. I have to check the accursed towers if I want to run the accursed towers, you know, like over here. This is what I'm talking about, the sanctum, not the gauntlet. Got to run the sanctum. Got to check out what's going on over here because sometimes we got to do some runs in the accursed towers or save some stuff over in the accursed towers, which is cool, but it's something that maybe I wouldn't mind a familiar doing it. Got to do my bounties. I'm actually behind on bounties right now. Check it out. We are 24 worth of bounties. I would love it if I could send a familiar out to run a few bounties for me. You got to do your, I like to run 10 rare crests in the Elder Rift every single day, which we ran earlier on today. All of these things are things that could be helpful if a familiar could assist us with those types of things, so that we could participate in battlegrounds, or so that we could participate in some of the events that are going on inside of the game that may be more exciting for us, like right now. The Eternal War, obviously, this is no longer exciting. This is something we've beaten to death. Well, we got your Phantom Gallery. The graphics update's going to be cool. All clans on deck. This is really, you get this from doing any of the running around, but like a Survivor's Bane, right? I've already done 2 versions of the Survivor's Bane. I've gotten a ton of the rewards already. There's not a ton left. 15 games in a week, 60 points right there. I probably won't get that one. I'm not going to play 15. But there are tons of rewards, plus it's just a lot of fun. And then like an Alley of Blood. You know, I would love to spend some time playing Alley of Blood, but as you could see, I have 24 bounties that I need to do. I also need to make sure that I get my 3 dungeons in, which is actually not hard. But when you start stacking all this stuff on top of one another, you're like, okay, I got about 45 minutes to an hour of gameplay today that is going to be required just for me to keep the grind up of my account on a daily. And then I can start participating in all those other things. So having familiars be able to go on dispatches for us, we'll see if that actually comes to fruition. I think it would be a really cool quality of life update. It does bring up the question of AFK gaming, right? Diablo Immortal is not a game that you could really AFK. Can you throw it on follow and follow people through the world? Sure, but it's not like a true AFK game where you don't have to play it, you just have to check in and manage it. It doesn't do the battles for you. It doesn't do all this for you. So if we put a familiar dispatch type of mode into the game, does that tend to lean itself a little too much into AFK gameplay where you don't really need to play the game to participate in Diablo Immortal, but instead you can just have your familiars play it for you? I think there's a fine line, and choosing the right activities to do this with the familiars could be really key. If they have the familiars being able to give us or do some really big tasks for us, things that the game is built upon, then it's probably going to be too much, and it's going to probably then be starting to looked at in a negative fashion, being an AFK game, etc. You don't even need to play Diablo Immortal to participate. We don't want that. This is definitely a game that we want to have to be active to play. But adding some quality of life to shave off some time for some of those activities that are just a little bit more tedious that we don't really need to do every single day. I know all of you right now have some in your mind that you're thinking, man, I would love it if my familiar could just do that for me every day. Why don't you guys let me know in the comments below, what activity or 2 would you love if your familiars can do it for you so that you wouldn't have to grind it, so that you could participate in other things. Again, guys, this is just leaks that came out. Nothing has been official, but we are officially in December. It's December 1st. Happy December to all of you. The update's coming soon. Mid-December is when we're supposed to be seeing something. At least that's what we're all anticipating. Diablo returns. It's all exciting. There's going to be a ton of story, a big boss battle, because Diablo's what we've been waiting for 2.5 years. It's going to be great. And the cherry on top could be familiars that really add some additional value, because they already add value as it is.